So this one here is extremely similar to what I'm looking at, and all these chipsets with these type of processors are probably they're probably supposed to be using low voltage RAM for some stupid reason. These ones definitely are. So this one here, I'm going to pull that off of there. This board here has the 1155 chipset socket. This is the 1151, and there's damaged pins on the motherboard of this one. I haven't ever been able to get it to work since. I picked this up used at Goodwill. The board's got some bowing in it. It's not really showing up as bad as it actually really is. This board, you see in here, it looks very, very similar. Okay, so I spent $19 on this board, and what I got was a processor and 2 sticks of RAM. I think the rest is trash. I probably could sit here and fiddle and fiddle and fiddle and fiddle with it, but I might be able to straighten the pins on the socket and get it working. Well, the other one, I straightened the pins to where they all looked pretty good, but not nearly as good as this one. Like, this one looks almost normal, and it still doesn't work. So there's possibly the chip is damaged. I don't know, but like, I'm done screwing with it. What I'll probably do, that one says it's an i7. I don't know if I have more thermal paste laying around, so I might not be able to even deal with this anyway. But what we want to do is check and see if everything else will fit. So it looks exactly the same. So this is the p8z68-v LE, and this is like, I'm not sure what the difference really is. This is the Z68V Pro Gen 3. These are almost identical. It's pretty nuts to find these boards. This computer also stinks like patchouli. I mean, I guess it came from the same hippie. So, I don't know what went here. It doesn't look like they ever ran any cooling in it like Brian was talking about, but maybe. There's one of these is missing. And it's probably where they had their hard drive mounted. So, when I found this, you see where the chip had been sitting. Looks like it's been sitting there quite some time. I'm gonna suspect that this chip might actually just be bad. What the hell is this? I'm not familiar with this. Is a USB cord. Oh, okay. So, we've got a 600-watt power supply in here. Everything looks pretty good. So, what I'm gonna try and do, I shouldn't need to put a video card in it. I'm gonna put some RAM in it, and I'll go look for that paste that I have, and this dried crap off of here, and goop it up, and put a heat sink on it and just see what it does. I've got the other computer that I bought today running, so who knows? If they both came from the same place, they came from the same store, so there's a pretty good chance that they're both good. So, I'm always curious, though, when I run across one where the processor has been removed or whatever. It was sitting in the corner right here, floating around. So, I don't know. i7. I don't know what an i7 is. This one here is an i5. If I I'm not mistaken. Why can't they just give them numbers that make sense? Like a i2, a i4. You know, like however many cores. Hey, why do you call it this other weird crap? So anyway, this... See that? It's almost identical. They got these fancy ones here, though, that aren't present on the other one. So, this is actually a pretty good board already on its own, but this is even better. So let's see what we got. These two. I don't know. I can't tell. This says Crossfire ready. I guess that's what that thing has, is Crossfire. This is Crossfire ready. It doesn't really say it, but I would guess that these two right here would be, or these two right here could be, if you're using PCI Express. And then there's actually a third one down there. So this has an extra one of those. So we got 3 of these on that other board. And neither one of them have the extra memory spot. Which puts this board probably at a fairly old age of like earlier than probably earlier than 2014. It doesn't have the socketed chip down here, which is interesting. I've seen a lot of them where they're socketed. There are some buttons here. Interesting. This thing totally smells bad. It just totally reeks. And I'm pretty sure it's patchouli. The other computer was really bad, and I took it and blew it out with compressed air, and there was still a lot of crap in it. So anyway, let me get on with this, and I'll test it out. Good Lord, look at this thing, guys. This thing, freaking ridiculous. Okay. Let's make sure there's nothing in this hard drive. Okay. Alright. I do think that it looks like the monitor is coming on. Okay, we do have something. CPU fan error. Okay. Let me check and see what's going on. Well, what do we got here? Oh. Okay. Let's get this over there. So there's a more than one CPU fan connection. Okay. Let's just go ahead and restart it. I'm missing one of these here. Should be nice to have. Probably can't get that no more. It's a big, huge plastic front on this. This thing is quite rugged. We have these fans. I'm guessing this thing probably pulls a lot of fucking power. Let's see. I've got another cord that goes to that thing. Just need to figure out what the other end of it is. I'm gonna go ahead and total memory 8 gigabytes. Okay, so what do we have here? We have i7. Yeah, the 3400. Okay, I'm gonna redo this. Okay, I just wanted to boot it up so I could see what does it draw. So we're just only drawing 70 watts right now. Also, I need to get my chair out of the way. It'd be a good idea for me to check and make sure that I'm not like picking up any kind of weird stuff. Press F1 to enter setup. Okay. Okay. So there shouldn't be anything else going on here. See what the boot menu says. Okay. Let's go here. Let's see if it'll work. Okay. What I've noticed about like with Ubuntu and different things is it's usually pretty easy to run. So it looks like this one is also going to be okay. Pretty fast boot up time. So yeah, okay, cool. I'm not really sure. I guess they just didn't give a crap about this thing, but why would somebody have removed the chip, the processor? And maybe it was somebody from Goodwill that did it, that, you know, a shopper. So we're actually looking pretty good. There's 48 watts, 47 watts. I know it's upside down, but anyway, it instantly found my connection, which is good. Okay, let's go into here and look up the, what do we got? The settings. Let me turn my flash off here. So, when you go into here to system, about, it's an i7 2600K by 8. Is that really an 8 core? That's pretty gnarly. So, assuming that everything functions properly, we're using Intel graphics, whatever they would be, 3000. I don't know what Windows System Wayland is. So it says it's a, can we highlight that? I just want to look it up. I have no working knowledge of this thing. Okay. And I'm not sure what this thing's going to do. I'm going to just restore my session. And I should be able to just go in here and pop this in here. Paste and go. Okay. So the Intel Core i7 processor. Let's see. No, it's only... Why do they call it... It says 4 cores, 8 threads. I don't know. I have no clue about any of this crap, really. But anyway, I thought by looking at what they were talking about saying here that it would be 8, an octa-core. But apparently, no. End of servicing updates was 2019. It is 32 gigabytes maximum memory, DDR3, 1066 and 1333. Maximum number of channels, maximum bandwidth, ECC supported, no. GPU, graphics. So, I think this other computer actually might be fancier. This is just a big fancy thing. So, anyway, I'm definitely glad it works. You kind of tell that it's definitely from a different time period because you see the FireWire and the eSATA. I've never personally used the eSATA. I'm not really sure what it was used on. Kind of a time period when I wasn't into computers. So, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else we can look up on this? Read this one here. What is this? It's a naming scheme. Legacy. Total cores 4. Says the same thing. Let's see. Reddit says, "Is it still good enough?" I have a PC built a long time ago with an i7. Okay. 100%. This is only a question the OP can answer. My buddy's Athlon 64X2 that we both got back in like 27 is still in use because it does everything he needs it to do, despite my continual attempts to convince him to try some new games. Says the 2600 is still an okay CPU. Outdated, yes, but it is still fine, depending on what kind of games you want to play, and the rest, blah, blah, blah. If you're using it as an office PC that's not gaming, so long as it's got greater than 8 gigabytes of RAM, and Windows installed on an SSD, it should be fine, and probably will continue to be until Windows 10 stops getting updates. It's fine for emails, blah, 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 blah. Got it, thanks, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, people, you know, have a little bit of like, oh, So here's kind of a nice review that probably sums it up a little more correctly. For office duty, that PC is going to be above and beyond. For gaming, not so much. I mean, older games from 2013 or so are going to run just fine, and maybe something lighter, blah, 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 whatever, I don't know. The CPU is getting on in years, but it's still enough for basic gaming setup. If you could get a faster GPU, anyway. I had this CPU and a GTX 1080 overclocked at 4.5 gigahertz. Finally dumped it for a new build last year. Went with a whatever the hell a 5600X is. Lucked out on a RTX 3080. The difference is night and day, of course. Can now take advantage of PCI Express 4.0 and NVMe drives. I have a 7-year-old, blah, 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 460 i5, 8-year-old that died last year. Both had that GT 1050 cards around 4 to 5 years old. Both machines worked fine. With Office, I don't know, what does this have to do with what the guy posted? It's not even the same thing. Anyway, then they got this guy here. The mighty i7 in 24. Is it still worth $30? Hey, let's watch this video. I just want to see. Okay. This is definitely... I don't know where the sound is.